Those supports have been around since day one of Destiny. They were not always the hot ticket items we see today.
We take a look back at the support gameplay in Destiny and discuss its evolution to the unholy trinity.
We also welcome this week Jacob Walsh to discuss the Texas Galactic Open and the latest Destiny news.
This is episode 130, Raging Support.
You have been well trained.
No. You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Oh, do not.
I'm not afraid.
There is no try.
We are back for another week of the Chance Cube, and everyone's here, +1. Although you can't see the +1. Jacob is here in as the voice of God only.
Nice.
But we're glad, Mike. We've missed you.
We have, buddy.
I'm sorry. This whole new being an adult thing is shitty and it makes me work a lot.
Dude, I feel you.
So, yeah. Unfortunately, I will be working a lot these next couple months. So, I'll be making as many shows as I can, but I cannot promise that I'll be making every show. Unfortunately.
Me and Kim have been getting okay at this. Usually when we do shows together, it's pretty awful, but we've actually been doing all right.
What?
I mean...
Yeah, Impulse,
I do perfectly fine. I don't know where you are. I don't get off on crazy tangents or soapboxes, ever.
Never.
That's all right. Kim's going to make the description of every show episode from now on.
Oh, God. We talk about stuff, and then some other stuff, and then Kim gets angry. The end.
So, Mike, in your illustrious quest to be an adult, have you played much Destiny recently?
Not at all. I honestly have not. The only thing besides work I've been doing is focusing on hockey.
Nice. Woo. That's okay.
Wearing my Sharks jersey.
Man, he's...
From All-Stars and my All-Stars hat today. Just a little support.
That's cool.
Yeah, other than that, no. I have not been able to play any Destiny or even, have any Star Wars in my life at all. That's sad. At least I get to come in here and look at all my cool Star Wars art.
There you go. Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah. You just need a little bit.
Awesome.
I have a few collectibles.
And then I bought a shelf that isn't up yet. Then I'll have some collectibles. Until then, they just have to sit on my desk and occasionally. That's all I got.
Right. Yeah.
I recently got some bookshelves too, and it immediately just became Star Wars shelves.
Yeah,
yep.
it's full of.
They're okay. That's all right. That's a good use of shelf.
Certainly not complaining.
No, of course not. What about Kim? I know you've actually been getting out a lot more, haven't you? To your store?
I did not. Last week was not a good week in my real life, so I did not make it to the store last week, which was a bummer. But I will. I'm planning on being there tomorrow. I'm like, what's today? Tomorrow. So I'm still playing. Oh dear God, who am I playing? Leia K2, and I've tweaked it a little bit, so I wanna give it another shot tweaked before I switch to something else. But the whole point of the weekly is that you try out a bunch of just stuff and give it a go. So you don't really, at least our group, we don't tend to settle on a deck and take that over and over. But I want to try this one again. Because it was really fun to play, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I want to give a special shout out to Jim Goss. He is hooking me up with another Phasma twirly stick for my deck, and just in life in general, because those are pretty awesome cards to come by. So I appreciate him sending that my way. And speaking of stuff in the mail, the twirly, he even called it a twirly stick, which I appreciated greatly. So I feel like that's catching on. But speaking of stuff in the mail, my really awesome Thank the Maker box from Parker Simpson came in, but it's at the post office. That's only open at 8:30 a.m. and closes at 4:30 p.m. So normal adults can't flip and go get the mail that won't fit into their post office boxes. So maybe I was hoping to have it to show you guys, and it's 3 blocks away. So unless we want to go break in, I can't.
What are you doing? Leave the show right now.
Go get so annoying. And they take an hour lunch. It's just God bless the postal office, but dang it, it's hard to get into at our place. So hopefully next week I'll have some Thank the Maker stuff. I saw a couple people post stuff online.
Yeah.
Some really cool I'll give you a hint. There's some really cool Kylo Ray art in his box this quarter.
Let all those shippers rejoice.
But yeah,
Jacob Walsh. Jacob Walsh.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. You're like just chiming in like you belong, which I love. Love it
I like
so
it.
much. What is going on with you, sir? What is Destiny like in Texas, and why are you here?
So there's quite a few groups in Texas. I'm mostly involved with, so I know a lot of them. There's a lot of crossover. You know, some of the Destiny people play X-Wing or Armada or Legion, and you know, because we just love Star Wars. So I play a little bit of Destiny. I'm mostly into the Armada side of things.
Nice.
But what got me really involved with the Destiny people is the Texas Galactic Open. It sort of started as, you know, San Antonio is a big military community. So a lot of our people have, you know, moved, their jobs get shipped to other states and sometimes overseas. So I thought, hey, how about once a year we get together, have a little championship, rent a hall and, you know, do like a banquet hall or something and see what we can do. And I figured, why limit it to just one game? And so I branched out and met all the other communities. And I also do play most of the other Star Wars games FFG makes.
Cool.
And so it just sort of grew from there. And the communities have they came together and really helped make last year successful. Just sort of pulled it out of thin air, and yeah, excited to do the second one. And so trying to learn more about Destiny, because I do need to play it more so I can learn more about what you're talking about with all the supports and awakenings and all the references. But I do know how to play the game, and I played a lot of other card games before, so when I see some stuff, I can kind of understand.
Sure. No, I understand
how
that.
It fits in and where it would be good and who it could be good.
Very cool.
Let me take that back, huh? You'll find what you need.
So, of course, as we always are with the period of time after a new set, and we're not quite into a major championship season right now, there's a lot of Destiny news is sparse, but it's also interesting when it comes up. We're going to save all of Jacob's details towards the end here, but you know, of course, we're still waiting for the World's news. I think the announcement is next
May 28th.
2 weeks from now. All the details about World.
I was looking it up.
Yeah.
It'll be announced on that FFG live stream that they're doing on their YouTube and Twitch channels at 1 p.m. Central.
And those live streams tend to have some length to them, or at least they have in the past because they do playthroughs. So I'm wondering, like, is it just going to be like a 5-minute, here's what we're doing, peace out? Or, you know, are we going to get more Destiny news that they're not sharing? Or are they going to talk about Destiny for 5 minutes and then do another playthrough of Outer Rim?
That sounds likely. But I didn't say that. I get why they did it one, because that's when they're there, but I don't know, maybe that is more convenient for people than me, but I can't necessarily get away from so it's a bummer that I can't watch it live, because chances are I'm going to be in a meeting at work or something's going to be going on and I'm not going to be able to. I'm sure they still get a lot of people that watch it. Maybe they do that because it's a good time further across. I don't know. It captures everybody in all the U.S. time zones. I don't know.
I don't understand it because I am the same. I'm at work. I'm busy. Like, do this
yeah,
in the middle
sorry.
of the day. I can't be involved. Sorry.
So I can buy all your product. I have to go to work.
Yeah.
I can't watch your stuff because I'm at work.
I think it's because they don't want to stay late and do it when it's appropriate for everyone else.
That I think that you are right.
Or they have to do it on their lunch
for
break
them.
because they can't afford it otherwise.
Bully for them.
But it's all good. It's all good. We'll figure it out. As effective as the Impulse says, it will at least be as effective as their hyperspace report, right? When they so we're gonna have all these announcements, but we're only going to talk about X-Wing. So all you Destiny players who got here early,
thanks for coming.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Here's a Keyforge deck.
Oh gosh.
I'll take that.
Speaking of actually kind of cool news, and I'm actually really impressed with this. So I've just put up the image on the screen of the playmat and the dice trophy that they've announced for the Grand Championships.
It's pretty slick.
It's pretty nice.
It really is.
Yeah, so that was a nice surprise. So if anybody's not, the Grand Championship is going to be at the Nova Open this year. It used to be the U.S. National Championship, or the nationals across the country, and now they've renamed them because they figured over coffee one day that was a good idea. So
I can't seem to get the name. It doesn't. It was hard enough keeping what happened, like what was at Gen Con, because that was the North American Championships, and then Nova was the U.S. Championships. So those were confusing enough, and now I'm like, I can't remember the new name of it. It's just not, it hasn't stuck in my head yet.
But my understanding is this die is it's actually a trophy. It's like 4 inches. So it's like,
I was gonna say somewhere I saw it was like 4 inches tall, which isn't bad.
It's like a chunk.
When I first saw it, I was like, "What is this? What is that die for? It has like weird blank sides."
Yeah, I was like, "How do you roll that out? Are there stickers?" Like I remember thinking that when I saw it.
I was like, "It's cool though. It's black." So I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I like black die." And
I was just thinking
trophy.
like they got really smart. Like promotional die would be the coolest, like next evolution of their promotional products they could do. I'm sure that would be more. Yeah, right. It's not cost effective, but and then of course the Obi-Wan and Grievous alt art. It's a very different. I mean, it's a very colorful take. It's a very different take for their alternate arts than they've done in the past.
It's really nice.
I like that, but then I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm being greedy that I wanted alternate art special to Destiny, but the background coloring is exactly how they did all the alternate arts for all the other games. Yes. And maybe I'm just being greedy that I wanted something independent for Destiny. And I get it from their standpoint. From a business perspective, it makes sense that they do it that way, but...
Right.
Yeah.
They're nice. The art's it's nice looking though. I mean, don't get me wrong; they're slick looking cards.
Yeah, I mean, as I've been going through the artwork recently, it's they have always duplicated art between their games. I think Destiny has probably the largest swath of unique art because they have more cards in their game than most of the others do. But I mean, they're still borrowing from the LCG and other such things.
Well, it's more so the backgrounds. Like the stripy blue and the stripy red, they did it across the board for all their games.
True. They said, "What's a good idea today? Let's do this for all of them. They'll never notice."
They brought in somebody's nephew's coloring thing that they brought him. Like, that looks cool. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
I like them though. Like I said, don't get me wrong; they're slick looking.
So that's it from the world of official Star Wars Destiny OP. News items. I mean, we don't know when Spark of Hope's coming out. In their typical PR cycle, we heard about it at Celebration, which was April, so we're going to start getting more spoilers probably mid next month, so they're not going to talk about it until then, and let us all fend for ourselves.
Yeah.
This is usually the time of year, the Go ahead.
Oh, no, I swear I saw somebody hint that, hey, maybe it's on the boat, and I thought that seemed awfully optimistic. But I don't know. Maybe it would. I don't know that it would be on the boat over this way yet. It seems early, but maybe not.
Yeah. The new set says on the boat, all the cool kids going crazy. People saying means 2 months or less out. Huh. That's possible.
Yeah. See, Impulse. Thank you for making me not feel crazy because I'm like I swear I saw that somewhere, but I don't.
Impulse is everyone's fact checker, so. Impulse is the backbone of our podcast, and he doesn't even know it. He does know it. That's fine. But this is the time that that a lot of the groups start putting together their own events, right? We've heard a lot about different events around the country. There's always the Extra Life event. There's a big one that we have supported in the past. Yep. The Jackal Hunts in their first of what they say is going to be an annual event. We've even done our own pre-Worlds event in the past few Worlds. Fast 2 Worlds. I guess there's only been 2. But we heard about this one last year. I think we sent some stuff. I can't remember if we did or not. But the Texas Galactic Open, Jacob, give us all the details about this thing.
So it's going to be September the 14th in downtown San Antonio. It's going to feature X-Wing, Armada, Legion, and Destiny. We did this last year. We had all 4 tournaments running at the same time. It's at a wonderful place called St. Joseph Society Hall. The people there are really awesome. They even put on some cool Star Wars gear. Had the big Chewbacca T-shirt with a belt on it. That was our security guy.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was just an awesome time. We had pizza, beer, Star Wars. You can't go wrong.
Heck no.
How many players did you have come out last year for the different
So we
games?
had 60 in total, which is, all things considered, I think is fairly good because it was sort of something I just pulled out of thin air, and a lot of people just rallied behind it, and it just blew me away. I just consider myself really lucky. I know there was a lot of work that I did, but without everybody else's help coming together, especially like Bernetta does so much for the Destiny side of things, without people like her, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I've noticed she's a huge backbone for that that community down in San Antonio area, which is awesome.
Yeah, and we have some really high quality players all around too. So it's really cool to see not only that level of skill at the table, because you get to see some really good matches, especially when it gets closer to the end of the night in the final rounds, but you also meet a lot of new players, and then you get to see those interactions of there's not a lot of like arrogance with people, even though you have people who are like top 10 in the world because they're making the world events and stuff like that, and they're still super humble, super down to earth, ready to teach, and it's a privilege. It's really cool.
That's awesome. I've noticed the players from Texas are like the players from Europe. They're just nice people.
Yeah.
Most of them. Most of them.
Awesome.
There's always that one apple.
Yeah.
Well, you get the spectrum everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How so what is your like so it's in September, so anybody who's in the Texas area, it's in what city? I'm sorry, Houston?
San Antonio.
It is in San Antonio. Okay. Yeah. So anybody in the San Antonio area, of course, the greater San Antonio area, of course, in September, being on the lookout for that. What's the advanced sales on tickets and that kind of stuff?
I just opened them on May the 4th. It figured like a really appropriate date.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
That's a good day.
Yep. You can find us on Facebook on the Texas Galactic Open. You just do a search for us. It'll pop up. And then the link is in the event details. It should be one of the pinned posts, I believe. And then you can just find the Square store. So you can get tickets. There are going to be door prizes. And so the ones who buy before July, those are going to be a special prize pool just for you guys.
What's your guys' MySpace page?
I still have one, so it's I don't have an official Texas Galactic Open one. I might just because.
You should.
Just to confuse people, and I'll leave Tom as my friend.
There you go.
That's funny.
Invite Tom.
So what do you, just trying to get more information about the event itself. What's, of course, camaraderie and fun, Destiny playing, but for those who want a little bit of something to incentivize them to come, what's your prize support plan or look like, or do you even have a concept of that at this time?
So it's all still getting pieced together as far as what the specifics are going to be. We didn't get our FFG alternate arts until like the week before the event last year.
Oh, wow.
But they sent us some amazing stuff. So we'll find out more about what they're going to be this year. But they had Spot Gloss Executioners and Hidden Motive cards for Destiny.
Nice.
We had X-Wing 2.0 was pretty much brand new at the time, but they still gave us some Spot Gloss Lando Falcons. Those were really cool.
Oh, cool.
Legion was still in its infancy too, but we did get some alternate art standing orders cards, which were really cool. So everybody got one of those. And then for Armada, we got a double-sided Phelan Rudor and Jan Orr's card. Those are both really awesome squads. And the winner got a double-sided Spot Gloss CR90 Corvette. And those were all pretty much, if you didn't have the chance to make it to a major convention, you really didn't have a chance to get your hands on those cards.
Wow.
Nice.
That's really nice to do.
Yeah. And that was just the official support. And then we had a lot of our local retailers donated games. We had a box of Star Wars Rebellion that we just gave away. Oh. That's an awesome game. If you haven't played it. Then we had other stuff, some non-Star Wars stuff. We had a game of Illuminati. That's a really fun game if you played any of Steve Jackson games.
Oh, yeah. I've played that game. Have you played that game, Mike? I've seen it. I'm pretty sure I've played it.
I think I played everything in Steve Jackson's library. That dude makes a lot of cool games.
It's so interesting and funny at the same time, because even though it's a game of basically world domination, it's just very silly and whimsical in the process too.
That's his shtick for sure.
Yeah.
Steve Jackson wheelhouse.
It's great. And then we had a lot of other stuff. We had dice trays. We had the big holders for like all the acrylic measuring tools and stuff you usually see in Armada and X-Wing.
Oh, nice.
Big gaming bag to hold all your minis. I got trophies custom made for the winners. We're going to get some more of those for more than just first place this time. So there was, all in all, not counting the official stuff, there's about $1,000 worth of stuff we just gave away. That's not
awesome.
for like winners or whatever. It's just we did just random drawings, and not a lot of people left. I don't think, well, nobody left empty-handed, but we also had a bunch of the tournament kits from like the regular seasonal kits. So if you weren't able to make those, or like the Legion launch events, a lot of stores had some extra stuff. So you could catch up on anything you may have missed over the past few months too.
Nice.
That is really cool.
Yeah, so the plan for this year, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Applied Perspective, but they recently decided to shut their doors and stop doing business.
Oh,
But
wow.
they had a big sale though, where it was like just tokens for like 4 cents a piece, and they make some really cool.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so I've got a giant box of that on the way.
Nice.
They were out of a lot of the. I wanted to get like the measuring templates for X-Wing, but they sold out of those. And then a lot of the Destiny stuff, the resource cards, the shield, or the not cards, the resource tokens, the shield tokens, that stuff was already sold out. But I did get a bunch of focus and aim tokens, dodge and aim tokens for Legion.
Oh, yeah.
And then, a whole suite of defense tokens for Armada.
Nice.
That'll be for everybody who shows up. I have enough for everybody who gets a ticket.
Cool.
Awesome. So what's the schedule like, or have you thought about that yet? Like what games are you going to offer? What series is for Destiny, stuff like that?
So the format for Destiny is going to be 32 players. We're going to be able to cut to the top 16 after. I have to pull up my schedule now. I don't have it all memorized, but I did write it all out. It is available. There's a Google Drive link on the Facebook of the event, and that's going to have all of your schedule details. But then we're going to cut to the top 16 because we'll have enough time to do that. We're going to start a little earlier than we did last year, and so it'll be best of 3, and then during that time, the other 16 who didn't make the cut, we can have a side event. There's still going to be plenty of room to do that. So figuring out some cool side event still in the works. Then
That's awesome.
for X-Wing, it's going to be 5 rounds and then a cut to top 4. Armada is 3 rounds. Legion will be the same thing. It'll be 3 rounds because of how long those games go, and then a final, just the top 2 we're going to play for winner take all.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, we had some good kind of drama last year, especially with a lot of the games in the finals. In Armada, there were 3 people who had the same score, same number of tournament points after 3 rounds, and the person who was winning all night got edged out by margin of victory. So it just came down to the tiebreaker, and they got edged out in the 3rd, and it was a really close match. It was
Wow.
yeah, I felt bad for him, but like there was like one squad, like one X-Wing or one TIE fighter. It was just such a small difference and really close playing field. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well, very cool. We of course wish you the best of luck with that event, and as we get closer to it, we'll have to keep remembering to say it as we.
We will. It'll be just like the Jekyll Hunt. We'll just throw it out there all the time.
It'll just happen every. It's like I know of at least one person who came to the Jackal Hunt because they heard about it on our show. So let's hope the same thing will happen for the Texas Galactic Open.
Absolutely, and I was actually on the
fun.
Jackalman podcast a few weeks ago. Those guys are really
Cool.
Yeah, they are.
I guess.
Yeah, it sounds fun, man. I wish. I think I did see somebody ask. Do you has the Team Covenant guys made it down there? I think I saw somebody in the chat ask if that's close enough. Did they make it last year or no?
They didn't. It was something that I had so little time to plan it. It was
gotcha.
literally about 2 months of doing everything from the ground up, from absolutely nothing.
Wow. We've done an event. We know how much playing, and with you doing all the other games too. That's off to you, man.
Thanks. It was a ton of work. I work for a big insurance company, and so I'm doing that full time, and then come home and do the event full time. So there's just no break, except once a week on Thursday, because I gotta go play Star Wars.
Right.
That's very important.
That's my Wednesday. Yeah.
It's necessary. Priorities.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, good luck with everything, man. That sounds like a ton of fun.
Yeah,
It's going to be great. So part of the ticket is I'm going to buy pizza for everybody. So especially if you're coming in from out of town, you don't have to worry about like finding your way around downtown San Antonio.
Cool.
You don't have to come spend extra money on food. And then I just get like sodas and snacks are just free for all pretty much. You just come and hang out. And there is a full bar, which is going to be awesome. That's run by the venue. So yeah, it certainly helps. A nice cold drink. It's still going to be warm in September in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Very warm.
Very warm.
Very warm.
That's funny.
Warm's an understatement.
Yeah. Not as bad as Florida.
I say Jason can relate. It's gonna say
I know warm.
I do look out with the heat. It's not as bad up here with the heat. It stinks about the winter, but
That's why Kim doesn't come visit me between the months of March and
I don't go-
December.
Yo, just get in the pool. You just got to get in the pool. Or wear less clothes. Like, there's like plenty of options. Just have to pick one and go with it.
Yeah, less clothes as always.
it's too hot. Like I feel like eventually you run out of less clothes as an option though. Like,
but do you?
Do you really?
Well, if I want to go to the parks, I do. I don't think they'll let me in if I paint stuff on. But
Own
They
it.
can fight you faster if you.
Own it,
If you're
Kim.
going in with less clothes.
they'll be like, "Look, there's a shorter version of Chewbacca walking around."
This is the best park ever.
Jason's gonna fall out of his chair. Like, that's gonna be it. It's gonna hear a loud thump in a second. And Jason's just dead, done. Jason's gone. Oh shoot! No, I will stick with Ohio summers. I will. I'm okay with those.
Yeah,
Still got my slippers on.
I still wanted to have it in October because it's like the perfect weather in San Antonio is in October because there's like 3 summers and then super summer in August where you just go outside and melt, but October's like breezy, 70 degrees, sunny. It's perfect. But then FFG was like, we're going to move all the world championships to the third quarter this year,
Yeah.
fourth quarter, beginning of fourth
Nice.
quarter, and I was like, oh well, there goes my event. Time to improvise.
Yeah, because that was a year ago. What, a week or so? It was a week and some change that Worlds was.
Yes, a weeketh.
A weeketh.
Yeah.
I saw my 12-hour
This was
road
a
trip in my
fortnight.
Facebook memories like popping up. That was fun.
Yeah, that was the whole reason of doing it in October last year was that it was sort of a lull for all of the games.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good timing.
You're ending the store championship season, but regionals haven't started up yet. X-Wing 2.0 just came out and rebooted. Legion was picking up steam, so it was good timing there. And then
Definitely.
FFG threw a wrench in my gears.
They do that. They do that from time to
At least every 2 years. Or every month.
time. Yeah.
Or daily.
Every couple of weeks.
Anyways, well, Jacob, thanks so much for letting us know all about that event.
Thank you
I
very
hope
much.
anyone who's in the area will get a chance to attend. I wish I had a reason to go, but we're going to keep close ties to what's going on down there. I would assume our very own social media guru Matthew Scott will probably be in attendance, and if he's not, I will shame him publicly.
Publicly.
He got put in the show notes last show. Then you're going to shame him publicly.
That's right.
Well, thank you
How the
guys a
mighty
lot
have
for having
fallen.
me.
Thanks, man. Good luck with everything, and
Absolutely.
we promise we will mention it more as the event gets closer.
Well, one of us will say it at least every week, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
at least
a
one
good
of us
shot.
every week.
Good shot.
Once a week.
And so, but hang on tight, everybody. Here's a brief message from our sponsor, and then we'll be back to talk all about supports.
You know, Mike, I just can't seem to get the cards I need in the booster packs I bought. I'm still missing a Mother Talzin, a Darth Maul, and I need some more battle droids. That 5-wide droid deck isn't going to build itself, and I have all these extra Yodas.
Seriously, Kim, I told you, check out Armada Games. You can buy and sell Destiny cards on their website, shoparmada.com. It's just a few simple clicks and bam, you are done. I used it just the other day, and now I got two Maul Sabers heading my way.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? We're in the middle of a break here.
Jason, you know how you've got all those extra cards from all those booster boxes you open? Mike says you can sell them online super easy.
No way, seriously? How? I've got to make room before this next set comes out.
Jason, whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, Armada Games has just what you're looking for. You can buy and sell your Destiny singles all from the comfort of your living room. Pre-order the latest sets of boosters and find the droids you are looking for. You can also check out their selection of Destiny accessories. And you'll get free shipping on orders over $75. For an even better deal, be sure to use the coupon code TheChanceCube and receive 5% off your Destiny purchase. Visit their website at shoparmada.com. Armada Games. Get in here and game.
But you know what I always say. Speak softly and drive a big tank.
This week we are talking about supports. Supports have been kind of hit or miss over the last 7 sets of Destiny, but they're much more of a hit now than they are as they ever have been in the past. As I don't know why are you laughing at me?
I'm giggling because the chat recommended that we get you an easy button.
That was easy.
And I'm gonna have to buy you one and send it to you now. I think I have one around here somewhere. Where is that?
Do you have an easy button?
It doesn't work, let me tell you. I've tried.
Oh.
That was easy.
You guys are killing me. So I just wanted to talk about kind of where supports have been and where they're going and where they are now. Starting back with Awakenings, right? Supports didn't really come into play until late of the first block. Empire War, and then of course Legacies with the vehicle decks that started coming into the scene. Before then, I mean, I can't even, aside from Awakenings, because Kim mentions it every time we talk about that set.
Amazing card.
I can't think of any supports that had frequent play except for maybe It Binds All Things. Supports were always put to the side in favor of upgrades, and that is just how the game was for the longest time.
Oh yeah, it was how many dice do I have for this deck? Is what it really felt like starting out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want a card in my deck that didn't have die with it. Like I want a 23 die deck. I mean, that's at least with Awakenings and maybe the next set. That's what it felt like.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That's a problem, Kim.
It was fun. I was like, I need all the dice. And then I went, oh, I need cards that do other stuff too.
Right.
That's why I'm a terrible deck builder. But, you know.
I mean, is there anything that sticks out from that time
Ooh,
frame?
backup muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to say their name right. LaDon in the chat mentions backup muscle. And that one got used to. I saw it a lot locally. I don't know if you guys, but it seemed to get it.
It faded off fairly quickly, I would say, because of how slow it is. And it's only 3 shots over 3 turns.
Yeah. What about It Binds All Things?
Yep.
Was that?
Well, It Binds All Things, sure.
Yeah.
Staple. But other than that, I can't really think of any support-wise that would have ever continued play.
Right.
Backup muscle would have been Ludon had a pretty good point there with backup muscle. That lasted a couple sets after.
And it's just really interesting to see how we went from this time frame where, they designed these supports that were, I mean, look at the name of the card, right? Supports. They're supposed to support the main point of the game. And I think if Lucas had continued to design the game, we would have never gotten where we are now. In terms of supports, I think, supports. Yeah,
because I think he had a different vision. I mean, I think he saw the game this way, whereas I think with what you have with Jeremy, he's kind of taken it a little more this way. I mean, I don't know. I think both of them, what Lucas put into the game, I think he did a great job with, but I think he saw the game going differently.
I think he saw the game always focusing on the character versus character battle.
Yeah.
Hot take. I think Jeremy has a little more experience with more types of board games and more game mechanics.
Sure.
And I think maybe that was why Lucas might have been a little more closed-minded to the fact that it was a strictly character-to-character battle. There shouldn't have been a lot more mechanics. I think he wanted to keep the game truly a simple game.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're getting a more complex game, a lot more cutthroat game, if you want to play it that way. If you don't, you can still play it like the Lucas way, the very simplistic way.
Yeah.
Or, you can take all these crazy mechanics and deck building strategies and make a game that is top tier, that's world class, that where people want to go, battle it out for world championship. So
yeah. Z3 Sniper mentions Tech Team in the chat as another support.
Yeah, Tech Team's kind of like it binds when you come to think about its supporting thing. We were starting to see the ramp with Legacies, Empire at War Legacies. Those two together, the vehicle decks are becoming prominent.
Yeah.
Because there was a bit of there wasn't a resource engine, but between Rally Aid and Tech Team, you were essentially getting a resource engine in the cheaper playing of these vehicles. And that's really what made those hero vehicle deck work. Enter Snoke. Now you can get money. And Snoke was the beginning of the big ramp, and that's kind of led us to where we are now. And Your Destiny has kind of coined this as the unholy trinity of supports: Vader's Fist from Across the Galaxy, and Mega Blaster Trooper, and Entourage from Convergence. A rainbow assortment of supports that are dominating the playing field right now when it comes to these villain rainbow builds that are just that the characters themselves don't even do damage. They churn out money to no business. I mean, like to the crazy money, so they can afford these cards to get played.
So much 12 resources to play these 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's not even including Vader Fist resolving it for a resource.
Yeah, to pay for it for.
Yeah.
And
I would say Unkar is probably when we started ramping up money. Impulse mentions that. He was probably, I would say, the first. Those Unkar decks were revving up the money.
Until they got nerfed and they forgot about it. It was
kind of
that
was another
very
good point.
Short-lived.
Yeah, some of the best first supports got nerfed. I mean, because I think they mentioned that Impulse mentions Running Interference and Imperial Inspection were 2 other great that started to really climb and then got knocked out.
So when you think of supports, like, do you categorize like dice cards versus non-dice cards when you think about them? Because, I mean, these 3, the unholy trinity, as has been coined, these are all damage dealing, super impactful supports. And but then you talk about like Tech Team and binds, like those are
passive
passive supports, maybe.
I think that's a good word for it.
Passive support.
Yeah, because it certainly is. It's still a benefit to you. It's like there's a reason that they were good enough to put in a deck to use because they were beneficial to whatever goal you were trying to achieve with that deck. Whereas these are, it slows you down, a smidge, but it's additional damage on the table.
Right.
I think
we're looking at such big power swingers with damage lately.
Mm-hmm. I think with anything, when you're deck building, you're really looking at like its cost effectiveness, and these are heavy hitters. They're expensive, but you're also almost always getting like a free action when you play it, or they're including a power action or something that is going to make that card more worth it. Like with Mega Blaster, if you are playing any leader, you're instantly getting 2 dice instead of 1 on your first order stormtroopers. So like clearly for 4, that's like a huge.
Oh, it's huge to get 2 more dice on the table.
Yeah, for 4, that's it.
And and the blanks don't count if you're playing that plot. I mean, so you have no blank sides because they're at least indirect.
So clearly that has like good cost effective stuff like
absolutely
like Tech Team. That was very cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
It would, even if you only used it once or twice, it was paying for itself. I think that's with anything you do have to definitely look at the cost effectiveness when putting it in.
Sure.
Yeah.
And now that between Snoke and Watto, I mean the resource ramp engines, those decks are so scary because you want to like if you can get them early on before they can generate these resources, then you're fine. But you've got to really hit them hard and fast because as soon as any one of these comes out, and they can usually get a couple of these types of supports out by turn 2. And then Entourage, Entourage itself is maybe not as scary as the other ones, but what Entourage is able to enable when it comes into looking for other scoundrels, you've got Fickle Mercenaries, you've got a couple of other scoundrel supports that come into play. I mean, it's a different kind of support swarm, right? It's now we're looking. We're not looking at vehicles. We're looking at supports that are like people.
Well, and like what do you have coming? The Ewoks coming? Like those are, right? At least that one is a support.
Mm-hmm.
you're now getting to the point where you're less concerned about your pairing and you're more concerned about, I need these color options so that I can have access to scoundrels or have access to, to leaders or, whatever.
Yep,
So,
or those subtypes. Yep.
yeah, just so that you can build these combos into your deck, because now we're actually starting to see like legitimate combos that can be played to, OTK maybe. Like maybe we will see another OTK deck come out.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible with the way these, heavy hitters are lining.
Yeah. It's almost like, I guess, like if you board game as often, you're now looking at Destiny from a standpoint of it being an engine builder, because you're trying to link together so many different cards that work off of each other that you're building an engine. Your deck is this engine that you're trying to get to fire.
Yeah, that's a term you definitely really don't ever hear in LCGs or CCGs, but that is what you're trying to do. You are definitely trying to engine build. And these characters that make tons of money, these supports that do a ton of damage, and then, all your free events. If you run like these for all your money and then you run zero cost events, like you could and draw cards, you could, go through your whole deck in one turn and finish the game. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting the way the game is progressing.
Oh yeah, a lot of growth over you. You didn't care about, you were looking for 80 vehicle deck. I mean, maybe you were getting the supports with vehicles, Empire Legacy set. This has become a whole different thought process with all of these subtypes and supports and matching those.
For sure.
Well, before you really didn't have a choice. If you wanted to build a vehicle deck, you played red. Or that was it.
Yep.
Some blue. We got some blue vehicles a couple sets ago. It was very limited. Now we're seeing them across the board.
Yeah, and it's funny how they like these rainbow decks when they build. Obviously, the decks that are putting all three of these major supports in, plus all their supporting cards. The characters weren't built to be played together. These types of rainbow decks weren't thematically designed. It just so happened to work that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not the characters that are synergetic. The supports.
Right.
Yeah.
So pretty wild. I think it's such a crazy place for the game to have gotten to this point where, and because when they design, they're designing 3 sets ahead. How are they starting to think about? Well, now we have to figure out a way to combat these supports. You can vandalize all day long, but like if you can't vandalize Vader's Fist unless you're starting with a 5-character dice team, which most people don't start with.
Yeah, it's a little hard to get to that right now.
I think I saw someone play a 6 die start, like they were all really low cost elite characters, and I'm wondering if they just did that so they could always vandalize a Falcon if they had to. Like it's
because I feel like most of the time rolling out, there's a good shot you're going to be able to knock one of them almost completely out on one turn.
Oh, if you see a 6 cost character or 6 health character, like you're instantly going for the one shot. Or if you see a 9 health, like you're looking to take that character down in a single turn.
Yep.
And usually that's your like resource gen or something like that. It's your squishy character. So you have to protect it. I think we need like more like bubble shields that like don't do indirect, that you can place them on a character.
That would be cool.
Or something like that, because 3 shields, while it does pretty well, we don't see a lot of shield generation. It's just, I don't think it's there. Maybe characters that can have more shields, or a support that can add 3 more shields to your character.
Yeah.
Character can have 6, but I mean the where we are moving into like support base are very squishy characters.
Yeah.
So if we want to, support the resource ramp, we have to do it while supporting those characters. I don't know. It's an interesting place for him. There's like so much to do. You can still play aggro. You can still play mill. You can still play vehicles and still be successful. So
yeah, I mean, even one of the not Jeremy, but Aaron, one of the other designers on the game, said that they're really looking at expanding the type of decks that are going to be successful. Right? Can we get to that point where it is truly rock paper scissors? Control beats aggro, aggro beats mill, whatever kind of triangle you want to design, but it's no longer Fast and Furious or only this type of deck's important. Everybody's got a chance, and some things will be more popular than others at times. And I think there's a lot in this set we've yet to uncover. I hope supports aren't the only answer to doing really well, and I don't think they are. I think there's some other good choices out there. It just seems that this one is one of the front runners right now. Is how can you play all these major supports? How can you afford them? And what character pairings will allow you to do that? And there's a couple out there that are making this a really lucrative and successful deck for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, any last thoughts on supports before we move on to our answers from last week's question?
Impulse said that aggro just loses now from what he's read. Yeah, honestly, I think if you put an aggro deck into the top player in the country, I'm sure he could still win with it, because it's all about playing your deck, knowing your deck, and say you're playing a vehicle deck, you know what colors they need to play for accessing certain vehicles or certain ports or whatever, so you target those characters, and that's game knowledge. If you have that, I think any deck can win. I truly do think if you put enough time into it, enough thought into your build, you know the game well enough to where you know the meta decks, your target, opponent, and you get good rolls, I think you can win any game. I honestly truly think in this meta you could win with any deck style.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
That's my thought.
Kim says, well said. All right, so let's go on and discuss the answers to last week, or 2 weeks ago's question.
There can be no mistakes this time.
So, in keeping with our lovely topic theme for tonight, we want to know what your favorite support was in the standard format. And you guys had all kinds of great thoughts on this. So, maybe we should have looked at this as we were talking about which ones. Think about that. So let's see. Fred once said Deja Vu has a high cost, but it's very rewarding. Usually it's great for low cost removal. Try Flee the Scene, but it can increase the power or trick cards as well. Instigate or Drop In can be fun. Double Probe or Scruffy. So many possibilities, and that's what he likes.
Favorite support, not supports.
Hey man,
just clear that
delivered.
Up for next. I'm just kidding.
Delivered.
We had a lot of answers this week.
Yeah.
Sean Author, I think I have to go to Mega Blaster, then Conscript Squad Hired Muscle. So
I like Mega Blaster.
Yeah,
I have to agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Griffin, playing with supports as your main line of action is stupid. Get back to real Destiny with character battling it out. Thank you, Jason.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Zachary Shield, judges, they help you out a lot. Aw, favorite support, your judges. That's cute. Oh. Now everybody froze. Great.
I didn't.
I didn't freeze.
You're back now. You can
just hang out. I like the reroll and the control. Only ever run one, and it's not the most consistent, but as far as supports outside the Unholy Trinity go, I think it's good. Mm-hmm. I haven't played Slave 1. I don't think that really ended up in a lot of my decks.
Jim Goss says Imperial Officer. She's not unique and fixes any trooper dice, including Vader's Fist.
No one needs to fix Vader's Fist. That's not a thing.
I had Imperial Officer. I don't think she's in the deck I have now, but I don't think she can be. It was in the Trooper deck that I played, and that's a fun little card to have included in.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for all your answers this week, guys. It's always fun to see what you guys have to say. For every show, of course, there'll always be a question posted on our Facebook page, so we appreciate you going and checking that out. You have yet squandered another hour. Words are hard. I should write this stuff out sometimes.
Squandering isn't a good word.
Squandering away is not a good word. I should be more positive.
Were you not entertained, people of the chat and those listening at home?
Not entertained.
Whether it was silly entertainment or or technology challenged entertainment, I bet you were still entertained.
Or were you enlightened?
Ooh.
It was an enlightening hour.
Ooh.
Or just a lightning hour.
I think we might have gone too far.
We have gone too far. For those who are watching live, thank you so much for all the follows. Subscribe if you're an Amazon Prime member; it's free, and you get a cool emote. Thanks, Monk, for being the greatest spokesperson for that. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, hit the notification icon. More videos are in the pipeline. And if you're listening to the Good Old Podcast, please give us a review on your favorite podcast app. It really helps us out. Thanks again to Kim and Mike for always doing the show with me. I don't know what I'd do without you two. And thanks to Matthew Scott for always working behind the scenes. Thanks to all of our Patreons. Jim Goss, you're our new hero. And we look forward to spending more time with our patrons over the Chance Cube Hangout. And for those who have not checked it out, or if you're an Apple user, go to the iOS store and check out the Chance Cube Price Watch. Best way to figure out the single prices in town. And
It's a cool new app.
For those who want to participate in next week's Question of the Week, head over to the Facebook page pinned at the top. What character do you think is designed well and due to be the next breakout star in Star Wars Destiny? And with that, we bid you.
I feel like we should have said, and you can't say this or this. I feel like we should have.
One
Breakout star.
character.
Breakout star, not
What
I'm already doing crap
character?
and people think I'm
Not
off.
characters. Character.
So, I mean, if they think again, they have to enter a separate answer on a different.
You delete your old answer and you make a new
This one's
answer.
better.
If you answer with 2 characters, we will delete the comment.
We will not.
We will not delete the comment.
Who's moderating
Mike's
that? Cam, are
saucy
you moderating that?
Matt, get on that, buddy. Watch out for Mike.
Matt, delete all comments that are more than 1 character. Put it in the show notes.
Matt's policing.
Matt says, oops, the official question graphic asked them to name a trio.
Oh, Matt!
Mike's just gonna flip his desk and rage out.
Is this Wrath of Khan? What's going on here? Okay, we're leaving. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye!
This has been The Chance Cube, a Star Wars Destiny podcast, a non-profit organization dedicated to building community through gaming. Visit our website for all things Star Wars Destiny, including our price watch, meta tracker, and latest articles from the Chance Cube family. Find our latest videos on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit us at patreon.com/thechancecube. Your patronage allows us to grow this program and help us give back to the gaming community by sponsoring events, giveaways, and supporting our own community building initiatives. This is Mike Hill, the voice of the Chance Cube. Thanks for listening. The Chance Cube is not affiliated with Fantasy Flight Games, Lucasfilms, or the Walt Disney Company.